Hi, welcome to this week's edition of Blue Stroke. Again, John, Dave and myself are going to look back over our victory against the Cardiff Blues last weekend and look back at all your other fixtures and of course look forward to our match against Munster. So boys, handy enough win against Cardiff, 13-16.
Who was it handy for?
Yes, it was a very handy win, and there was absolutely no controversy whatsoever, and the Welsh fans are very, very happy.
Mm. Yeah, they didn't boo at all. I was there watching them not boo for hours at a time.
They took Dudley out for a steak dinner.
They did.
They had dinner and then they staked him.
Poor Dudley shouldn't have been really put in that position, should he? But yeah, I'd say he got off the field fairly quick. Not that I think he did anything wrong, but you know,
in fairness,
they don't need much excuse.
The only thing the Welsh haven't moaned about since the Second World War is close harmony male voice singing.
It's a bit stereotypical now, David.
It's like also accurate.
It's like saying Irish people are all thick and they all beat each other up and drink loads of. Well, actually,
yeah.
Hold on.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, we got off to a bit of a hairy start. Conceded a fairly soft try, and we're down 13-3 at half time. I thought, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
But
kind of
great,
there's kind of a forgotten
determination
incident in the match is that we actually were awarded a try by the TMO. Whether it should have been or not now is another matter, but we were awarded it.
And Dudley overruled it.
Yeah, so the Welsh seem to have forgotten that.
Mm. Well, we did show great Brazilians in the second half to come back.
We had lovely Brazilians
to come back from a 10-point deficit. It's like the good old days, and they didn't score.
We had great Bolivia in ourselves.
We did. We showed. We had amazing steel, but we
Peru wouldn't believe it.
Okay.
Sorry, that joke left everyone cold. It's got very chilly.
You'll have to edit all of those, Dave. Everyone.
No, they're all staying in.
Okay. Anyway, it looked for the first time the opposing team didn't score in the second half.
Yeah,
it's normally us. You know, they were 13-3 at half time and they were 16-13 at full time. So it was kind of a reverse Leinster. We did it the hard way. Came from behind. It was a hard match. It was a very close match.
I mean, there was lots of. I mean, there's lots of. For example, I mean, they did get on top in the scrums, for example, towards the end of the thing in the match. But when it counted,
your man Reece Gill came on.
Yeah, but when it counted, we held it out. You know,
and his associated hooker.
But when it counted, Leinster locked it out. I mean, that was the important thing. That last scrum, for example, Bent locked it out. They had to do a move off it, and then obviously they lost the ball. So, I mean, there is a resilience in the team. I mean, they, as you say, they gave up a soft try, and it was a soft try, but they didn't let it kind of ruin them. They kept plugging away and chipping away at it.
It was a lovely try that Anscombe scored. Actually,
it was. Yeah, he's got some wheels.
High point of the game. He is fast. I mean, seeing it in the stadium, he shifted straight past me, and you know everybody else was running in quicksand compared to him. It's just and he ran one of those lovely arcing lines as well that just got round everybody. So. You know, hats off to the guy. I'm glad it wasn't a deciding factor that won them the game. But God, they were so pissed off by the end of it. And in fairness to still most of the lads, even the ones that were complaining and roaring, most of them came over, shook our hands. You know, there's good rugby people there. You know, they're not all whingers or moaners or whatever. So you know, it's nice to. It's a good weekend and it's a good. Bit of crack, and you can always get the hell out of there very quickly after the game and go for a few points. We actually didn't go very far. We just went across the road, and
that's actually
points.
That's the one great thing about the Arms Park and the Millennium Stadium, Principality Stadium, is they are really city stadiums. You're right in the middle of town. That's brilliant.
It's just a pity it's not in Bermuda, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's that's one of the things I really love about those two.
I tell you, last weekend it might as well have been in Bermuda. It was t-shirt weather all weekend. It was incredible.
It was pretty pleasant in Dublin as well, in fairness.
So we have a look at Ruddock's try. It looked to me like it was a double movement, but
praise has to go for very good work from our centre partnership.
Yeah.
Nice feet, nice hands, nice break. And he doesn't lose the run of himself. Instead of trying to cheap offload or a quick offload, he keeps hold of it and waits for his support.
Yeah. And they have to force to give away a penalty. Yeah. It stopped Ruddock in his tracks there fairly well. But gave away a penalty in doing so.
Now, we obviously we tried to run the first one, and then they got done for not being back 10. So we got a second attempt,
Yeah, where Johnny.
which we were a bit more sensible with.
Didn't
I mean,
get touched.
it is a more sensible option nowadays because this year we've been mauling so much better than we have in the last 2 or 3 years, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what we've been eating.
We've
but
been
it's,
practicing.
it's
I
come
thought
out in our mouth.
I was very impressed actually with Nagel in the mauls. He seemed to be directing them very well.
I wonder if he'll start against Munster.
He was
be
in
hard
the
to
air
know.
there. It'll be interesting if he does start against Munster. Yeah,
We'll come to that.
Being a
Yeah,
Munster
we'll come to
chap.
that in the second part of the show. All right.
It's good work here from the hooker.
Oh yeah,
Tracy.
Yeah.
Kept
Very
it alive
muscular.
there, yeah.
And
And
you say it's a double move. and
I think
say,
it is.
I say he's led place the ball, and he placed it fairly quickly. Like you have to place the ball immediately. I think it says.
See, I can see both points of view. I would
relatively
suggest the one
immediate.
thing that stands in Ruddock's favour is he doesn't attempt to regain his feet,
Yeah.
which would be, if you like, the
He didn't crawl.
one of the signifiers of a double movement. But I can see why, because he stops there.
Stop dead.
Yeah. But then the thing is, how does he end up? I mean, is he allowed to extend himself the full length of his body, which I think is actually the wording in the technical guideline.
Yeah.
So, if he is, then he's okay.
Well, every Cardiff fan is going to say he's not, and every Leinster fan, bar Jason, is going to say he is. He did definitely come to a stop. There's no denying that. But all he did was extend his arm out, and I think you're allowed to do that. I think you're allowed to place the ball. But hey,
well, either way, we got the 5 points
Yes.
for that try, and Johnny converted.
And then what we saw was actually some might say that it's gamesmanship, and possibly it is. But
I thought it was very clever play by
yeah,
by the scrum half.
Gibson Park.
The guy was a lazy runner running back.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
he took advantage of that. That's what I was going to say. The guy shouldn't have been there.
No,
It's simple as that. I mean, it's always a principle of refereeing is if you're on the wrong side, you deserve what you get. He was on
He managed to hit him on the hand too, which is extra points.
good accuracy. But I mean, he extracted the penalty, and that was obviously
Yeah.
the winner of the match, and that's good play. That's what you want.
And
It's that kind of wiliness that you
I'm-
want from a scrum half.
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I'm sure the Welsh fans around you were happy with that decision as
They were
well.
thrilled. They were saying, "Jolly well done, chaps," in Welsh accents.
Yes. Which sounds amazingly like you effing Kiwi cheat or something like that. That's just the Welsh.
Yeah.
It
So-
transliterates.
So that win leapfrogs us up into third position ahead of Cardiff,
Mm.
and all top three Irish or Irish top three
Yeah.
league ladder at the moment.
Yeah, it's well, we'll see how long we've either us or Munster are going to be bounced out of the top 3 or 4 before the end of the weekend next weekend. But
Which is the first ever Pro 12 big weekend with
Lots of derbies.
lots of derbies all over the place.
Yeah.
But so just to go back to the game against Cardiff, just to go into a bit more detail. There's stuff that's really it's really exciting. We saw Rory O'Loughlin for that try,
Yeah.
and he played really well. And he's a
Good
guy
game.
who, at the beginning of the season, before the pre-season friendlies, you wouldn't have mentioned him in dispatches really at all.
No, but
No one heard of him,
I'm
for
sure
God's
we
sake.
all saw him.
injured.
I saw him playing against Ulster down in Navan,
Yeah.
and for me, he was man of the match.
Yeah, same here. But that's what I'm saying. Before
Yeah,
that, man.
exactly, yeah.
But what it shows is there's guys, and Barry Daly as well, who got on before. It shows that the form is being rewarded.
Yeah, which is great to see.
Yeah, and it encourages
And
the others.
there's
Good
a
for
lot.
the culture
I remember
of the
being
team
at
as well.
I remember being at a Q&A when Cheika took over like a long time ago, and it was just shortly after the Lions tour, so all the fellas that were on the Lions tour have been rested.
That's when Les wanted to know who won that game of Bulldog. Do you remember that? He kept asking Dennis Hickey, but who won? But who won? Anyway, carry on. You do remember, don't you?
But the thing about it was Cheika spoke to talk, or talk to talk, but he didn't really follow it up. You know, he kind of said, "Well, I was a nobody player. No one ever heard of me. I'm up for the underdog. I'll give youth its head." But when push came to shove, he still pretty much went for the seasoned internationals. Whereas at least with this team, you are seeing the likes of. I mean, we've seen Reid in every game now. Ringrose has played significant number of games too.
Yeah.
You're seeing, we're not relying on trusted old fellas or fellas that we know what can do. You're seeing, like as you said, Daly. You're seeing O'Loughlin coming through. Like it's great to see those
Well,
backs.
They really
To a
took a
certain
bit
extent,
of
we
a
don't have any
punt.
choice. To a certain extent, and it's a positive thing, but we still don't have any choice in the matter because our trusted old fellas have gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that entire back line, the only one who's left is Johnny.
Do you know the match? Remember the match against Northampton?
I do, yes.
Like that was only what three seasons ago, right?
Yeah.
There's only 2 of those backs left from that entire game.
Rob and Dave, is it?
Yeah. Well, they weren't playing. Sorry, on the team that started.
I'm trying to think who they were.
Yeah, I think it was the 2. I think it's the 2 Carneys were the only ones that are.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I can well believe it. I can well believe it. I mean, there is a huge turnover, and indeed, although in that case there's a case of guys coming back, in terms of Issa who'd left and came back. But no, it is good that the guys are getting the run out. The question is how it's happened. It's happening throughout the team. I mean, we saw the European squad, for example, this year. Now, it's a very big squad for European rugby.
It's bigger than our senior squad.
You pretty much can name anyone you want. Well, near enough. But it just shows that that these guys are indispatchable. I mean, normally the European squad is named, and there's a couple of names that are in there literally as to fill the spaces. But this year, the guys who are the space fillers, for want of a better phrase, Rory O'Loughlin, who's played really well. He's had a start. He's had a couple of run-on appearances as well. Andrew Porter, James Tracy. These are guys.
Andrew Force of Nature Porter.
Yeah, these are guys. Peter Dean. These are guys who are actual genuine contributors to the effort, as opposed to names on a page.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's no one in there you'd be worried about really, is there? In that 41.
No,
I mean, there's 4 academy players. So there's Porter, there's Carberry, there's O'Loughlin, and there
Barry Downey?
is. He's not an academy player.
That's right.
I
Adam
think
Byrne?
who the 4th
Adam
one
Byrne?
is. No, he's not academy either. He's in the senior squad now. Anyway, our viewers can look it up for themselves. But there are 4. They're those guys are 4 guys that you would, Porter, in a heartbeat. Joey Carberry, absolutely. O'Loughlin, we've just discussed how he's come on. I believe he's been injured. To be quite honest, I hadn't ever seen him.
No, you hadn't. I mean,
before this season.
You'd watch more. You'd go to the 18 more often than I would. But I've seen a fair few BNI Cup games, and he wasn't on my radar at all. But that probably says more about me than.
Yeah, well, he the 2 pre-season friendlies I saw.
Yeah, some of the pre-seasons, all right.
He was really good. I mean, he played 12 and some of them and 13 and others. So, bit of versatility there, and he didn't let anyone down. It was that kind of a game that Joe Schmidt used to play every so often, where he put in. Remember, we used to discuss it, where he put in a kind of a guys in key positions that were getting trusted, like he did it with Luke McGrath before he finished. When Luke McGrath was only starting, he started him in a big game against the Ospreys. Like, that was a big game. It was an away game against
the much fancied
Garden, who were ahead of us in the league. And okay, maybe it was a bit of a gamble, a hit and hope, but I don't think so. I think they genuinely had faith in the team that he put out that they could do the job, and they did. And it's great to see that. And we've got, like, Issa was rested, Carney was injured,
Dave Carney is injured.
Dave Carney is now injured.
McFadden is injured.
McFadden is injured, but he also he rested a couple of guys, like obviously O'Brien isn't back.
Mickey Mack got a rest.
He
Dev
got arrested. Dev was on the bench really. So there was a significant and Heaslip came off the bench as well. So there was a significant amount of players like that we rested for presumably the Munster game and the 2.
We've, like, for those fellas that were arrested, they're
Europeans.
huge 2 months ahead of them now. You've got our
2 games against the All Blacks.
Well, you've got 2 games against the All Blacks. You've got 4 internationals in total. You've got match against Munster in the Aviva. You've got 2 European Cup matches. Then another derby followed that up against Connacht, the league champs. So you're not going to get much of a rest for the next 8 weeks.
No, well, see, some of the players are the ones that are not in the national team, like your Isas and and the guys who are just below the national team are going to get at least 3 weeks off. So you can rally those guys a little bit. You can give them the welly.
There is an element that you're kind of reining guys in at this stage because that they're absolutely bulling to go. So actually having that 8 match period is something that they really, really welcome. So it is swings and roundabouts. Certainly from a Leinster perspective, it's actually this period of the season has gone really, really well for us. I can't remember coming up to the Munster game was always the game where everything kicked off, everything began. Right?
Still is really.
And to a certain extent, but I can't remember, certainly since Checker came in, us having such a start, momentum going into the Munster game as we have now.
Yeah. I agree.
4 from 5.
Yeah, and Munster have a bit of momentum themselves. They're going well. But anyway, we're getting into the second half of the show there. What I was going to say was back row, Jordy Murphy was also arrested. So he'll be fresh for whatever doings are being
Sitting
done.
on the bench.
Whatever doings are transpiring.
Whatever. So, like Levy and Van der Fleer, we talk about them every week. What a pair of guys, and they're just delivering every
They're
week.
getting
Ruddock,
better
Yeah.
as they're getting that little bit more experience.
I think Ruddock had a really good game, and I think factor in him having a really good game was how well those other two guys were playing, because he knew he couldn't come on and show any kind of lack of readiness, because those guys are already up running and halfway down the street. So he had to come, and he did. He came on and he was very.
You had to come loaded for elephant.
He did. He was very muscular in his carrying. You know, he played. He did a good job at 6. You know, so we'll
More
see.
headaches for the coaches,
Exactly,
which is
yeah.
good.
And interesting enough, just to in terms of the coaching team, there was I don't know if it was a slip of the lip or whatever, but Stuart Lancaster used the phrase "since I took charge" in a press conference yesterday. He was talking about something happening. It was the first time it had happened since I took charge, which was an interesting.
Well, he seems to
little
have
phrase.
manoeuvred, like Leo seems to have become the director of rugby.
Yeah,
with him
that's
at the
what
head
there was,
coach.
Yeah, Thornley said
At Fanning as well,
Yeah.
in the Sunday Independent.
that they seem to have settled into this kind of pattern or role.
So that makes Leo Cullen Dick Cock,
Dick Cockrell, yes,
and it makes him Matt O'Connor.
well played, sir.
Not really. Sorry, God. Yeah, don't attempt to mock our gods on that one. But yeah, it's at least they're falling into roles.
Yeah, and they're not-
You know, and that's a sensible role when you think about it. You think about it in terms of
Well, you got the English head coach for 4 seasons.
yeah.
Like, you can't really say to him, oh, by the way, you're looking after the
Make it
academy
say
this
that.
week.
Go on.
Well, you can if the guy's a good guy and it's a collegiate effort. But they seem to have. I mean, there hasn't been any kind of sense of pooch or backstabbery that one gets in other teams. There's been it's been a very smooth
Yeah.
amalgamation that seems to be
But
driven
al-
from within themselves.
Also, if you think about it this way, Leo is quite raw as a coach.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
his second
Oh, yeah,
season, right? It's his
A
third
head
season
coach.
as a coach, second
Head-
season
yeah.
as a head coach.
But, like,
He,
don't forget, sorry, go on.
he has he knows everything there is to know about Leinster, though.
Yeah, yeah.
So he knows all the people. He knows all the people to talk to. He knows how to interact with
But, like, look
fellas
at it-
like Joe Schmidt.
But look at it from his point of
He
view.
knows-
He was offered the job. Apparently, he didn't really want it, but he wasn't going to refuse it,
Couldn't
right?
refuse it, yeah.
So he probably was given an opportunity to say, well, you can move a bit sideways or maybe up and sideways a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be judged on your coaching. You're going to become the director of rugby. You know, so bring Lancaster in and he'll kind of take over stuff that you're not as experienced as he is. Like, I think
Well,
that's a pretty clever
I think it's a great
move.
stroke, but also it seems that if you look at like Stuart Lancaster has a reputation as a hands-on coach, as a developer of attack and defence and whatever else. So you've got an overlap there between himself, Gervin Dempsey, and Leo's obviously, I'm sure, still looking after the forwards, the mauling. That's got to be to do with Leo. All the mauling has improved.
Absolutely, yeah.
Line out. I mean, who else is going to coach the line out? Only Leo Cullen.
Just a line out. No, we'll come back to it. I just want to say how well. Talk about a bit about Ian Nagle. But go on.
I thought he had a good game. It's hard to see second rows when you're at the game. I didn't get a chance to
He
watch
looked
it
like a
back.
guy who was kind of directing operations. Say, for example, in the mall, he was, the way that classic Munster style where the guy, the leader of the mall, is standing with his back to everything and kind of just getting things moving. I mean,
He has his feet dug in though. And
he filled that role like an.
He's a pretty experienced guy, you know.
All we need him to be is half as good as the hype. Seriously, I mean, the hype was that he was the new Paul O'Connell. If he's half as good as that, he's going to be really, really valuable to Leinster. Really, really valuable.
Yeah, I have high hopes for him. I mean, this is his first competitive game, so we'll see.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty
I
good.
thought he did a good job,
And he seems to be that rangy, athletic, loose head side.
We've never had a guy. When Toner was away, we really missed Toner because we never had. You've seen us like we are short in terms of second row, and like physically short. I mean, in terms of our second rows are physically short, and he's a big guy. He's a bigger guy.
Well, I walked past him there a while ago, and He's enormous.
He's monstrous.
He
He's
is
monstrous.
enormous.
Yeah.
And
He's
the only thing that made me think otherwise is when I saw him beside Toner.
you get a huge sense of size off him. You know, that kind of a way.
He is. He's big. He's big arms on him. He's just a big.
I remember when he came on.
Right.
I mean, he got sin bin soon enough, almost immediately against Ulster in Navan. But the size of the guy when he came on, he was physically impressive.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think he's good. It's good to see him developing. It's still obviously up in the air as to how he's going to go over the course of the season, but
Well, so far, that's all I can say.
well so far, yeah.
Yeah, we'll chat about our potential selection for the
Lions.
On the 12th of Never, at about 14 o'clock.
Just very quickly rattle through the other results of the weekend. Ulster had a victory against the Ospreys. Scored in the last couple of minutes to clinch the deal.
Yeah, it was
Another
it was,
key
it was
penalty, I
one for the
believe.
purists. I think
But
that match.
the Ospreys had 2 opportunities in the last 15 minutes to score, and they blew both. Like that could have definitely have gone to the Ospreys that game.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it was a
They were
game.
ahead the whole time.
They were, but they had a 2-on-1, and the guy cut back in, and there was some great defending now. Jordan Payne made a great try-saving tackle in the corner on the far side. Ludovic
Ludic, yeah,
Ludic
yeah.
Ludic.
scored, made another
That
fantastic.
was brilliant. That
tackle.
was a brilliant tackle. That one on Ludic. If you check it out on Facebook if you haven't seen, or on YouTube if you haven't seen it, it's brilliant.
Connacht got their first win of
Yeah,
the season against Edinburgh,
Yeah.
Well,
so they needed that.
the 3 of us would have done a job in Edinburgh by the sound of it.
Probably.
But, hey,
They've lost
Their
skills coach,
yeah.
Dave Ellis.
yeah,
is-
that's a blow.
yeah, that's a big blow.
And they, along with the Henshaw, your man, the second row,
Ali Muldowney.
Muldowney, and who's their other big loss? Anyway,
They have a few injuries as
there
well.
are a few injuries they've got, and then their coach leaving.
They lost another coach as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost one to Glasgow, didn't they?
Yeah,
Forwards coach.
That was last year, though.
that was last
wasn't
year.
it?
No, I think
Yeah.
Ellis is the loss because
He's a big loss.
he informed a lot of how they play.
Yeah, him and Pat Lamb, and this whole skills thing about having a rugby ball all the time, and that's a lot down to Dave Ellis. So
It's off down to the Auckland Blues.
They're going to miss him, yeah.
But they've been awarded. There's been a couple of call-ups from their team for the Irish camp in Carton.
In fairness, I get the feeling that anyone who is alive was called up to a certain extent.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, no, just in terms of, I mean, there's a lot of guys. No, in fairness, that's true. I mean, a lot of guys who have played well early in the season have been called up. I mean, obviously, they've had the guys who played well last season. That is the first squad post the South African tour, which is part of a different cycle, if you like. So those guys have been called up. But you've also got guys like Darren Sweetenham, has been called up, and Joy Carby's been called up. So these guys are.
But it's encouraging to see
Yeah,
rather
exactly. I
than
think-
sticking to the same faces again.
Well, I don't think that any of those guys are going to get next to near a match squad. But I think
Well,
what
they
they are
can't-
is they're going to be around the place.
But-
They're going to be absorbing the
But
information.
in November, you've got the only opportunity that they possibly could, Dave, because you've got Canada.
Yeah. Well, that's the
You know what I
only
mean?
chance,
So you've got
Gary Ringrose's debut, perhaps.
maybe.
Who knows? I'm sure he was called in, was he?
yeah. Oh yeah.
He was another guy rested this week, wasn't he? O'Loughlin took his place. And made a lovely little break through the centre there just before our try.
I think that's what I like about O'Loughlin. He's good feet, he's good hands, and he's not stupid.
He's an eye for the cap.
Yeah.
And finally, the other result was Munster Hockey Zebraid. They scored 7 tries, and
Yeah, I saw
Up
some.
to
I
second.
saw them on YouTube. I mean, it was a typical Zebra away from home performance.
yeah,
Even so, to score 7 tries against fit, healthy young men of
How
any
many
calibre
tries did
was
Osprey score against them?
37.
Yeah. How much good did that do them?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
well, you got to get those wins. You got to, you know what I mean. You're
That's
gonna-
Leinster's new tactic: is to play the guys who beat Zebra the week after they beat them.
Okay.
But you got to get those wins in the bank. I mean,
Oh, you do,
we,
yeah.
we messed up against Treviso in our opening game.
I often say that a win, even a facile win in a fixture like that, is of benefit because it does kind of help when you're in the middle of winter and things maybe aren't going as well. You can remember sunny days on top of the ground.
Well, we blew 3 points in our first 2 games. We blew a winning bonus point and we blew 2 losing bonus points against Glasgow that we could have had in both cases. So if you want to look at it, we gained 3 points in Cardiff, where we could have, we could have been
Swings and
4-1
roundabouts,
in
what you're
match
saying ultimately,
points
isn't
down.
it?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's a
So
valid point.
we've kind of regained that bit we lost with those three dropped match points because if you'd come back from a Cardiff team that are playing fairly well, if you come back from that with a losing bonus points, you would have gone, it's not the end of the world. But so, you know, we're back on track, I would say, with that performance, and you know, hopefully onwards and upwards.
Yep.
Squad certainly seem to be clicking, and it all seems to be going well. You know, it doesn't take much, a few injuries or something to go wrong, or you know, but
we'll discuss all that.
So thanks, million boys, and thanks very much for watching. And please join us in part 2.